How's it going, Dopamon fans? If you've been following along, you know we've been projecting rosters and lineups for the 2022 Olympics in Beijing. Go check out those videos if you haven't seen them already. We've done Canada and Sweden so far, but today we're going to be talking about Finland. And just as last time, we're going to be starting with the goalies. Ryan, any
Goalies?
thoughts before getting?
No, yeah. If you enjoy these videos, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing a bunch of dope hockey content into this year. And yeah, without further ado, we got goaltenders. Goaltenders in Finland. Historically amazing. Any one of these guys could be your starting goalie. Tuukka obviously isn't playing for an NHL team right now. We're going to assume that he will either be back with Boston later in the year or will come back simply to just play for Finland in the Olympic Games, obviously, and obviously Jonas Korpisalo and UC Saros. Incredible, incredible goaltenders in their own right. I think Saros will probably end up being the starter, but if Rask is there, he'll be the guy probably that gets the majority of the action, at least to start.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling come January is when Tuukka Rask is gonna be back with Boston, just as the new year starts, and that'll kind of be like a warm up for him to get into uh, the Olympics here. I don't think he's gonna play a lot during the season, but I do think he's gonna step up just for Team Finland.
Absolutely. First defensive pairing. Got Miro Heiskanen and Rasmus Ristolainen. What do you think about that?
Not gonna lie, I love one of these guys, and I do not like one of the other ones.
Yeah.
Miro Heiskanen might be one of my favorite defensemen in the entire league right now. I want to go get one of those, that Dallas skyline, the black jersey with the green neon highlights. I want that jersey of Heiskanen. That's he's one of my favorite. I love his game. It's defensive and offensive. Each end, he's just a monster. And I can't see anybody else being a number one D in Finland, but it's with who? On the
Yeah.
right side is the big question because Rasmus Ristolainen has a lot of question marks around him. He's big, he's physical, he's offensive, but the holes in his defensive game are just sometimes too much to overlook. And I personally wouldn't want to have him on my NHL team, but I can see on an Olympic roster at the international level that he could, be a huge turning point if he's used right. And I think Heiskanen's the only guy on the entire roster who he could play with.
Yeah, I think I'm with you too. I love Heiskanen. I'm a little bit down on Risto, but we'll see how he plays in Philly. I know there's, the Buffalo effect on players sometimes. Buffalo fans, if there's any watching this video, let us know what you think about Ristolainen. I know a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh no, he's just gonna play terrible in Philly too. It's not Buffalo." Um, yeah, it's interesting. The combinations on defense are interesting. It's definitely up for discussion in the comments. Let us know who you think should be playing on defense and with who, because it could be all over the place. Our second pairing, we got Yusuf Valimaki and Henry Yoki-Hairu. So you see right now how we don't really sure what Yoki-Hairu could play with Heiskanen. It's very possible. Valimaki and Risso, we don't know, but I think there's another two guys very solid pairing here. Not a lot of guys that get a lot of attention in the NHL, but very good defensively.
Mm-hmm. I like them both as defensively. I think Team Finland being a little bit weaker overall might have to focus on defense, as like their kind of strategy overall. Like they just can't compete with, we've talked about Team Canada before. Just, go check out that video if you haven't already. Just so overwhelming with elite talent that Finland doesn't have defensively that they might need to just plan around being defensive. It's very possible that the pairings we think are just going to be completely different for that reason. But I like
Absolutely.
this one. I like this one in particular. I think that could be like a shutdown line for them.
Yeah, I think a good set of line here.
Mhm.
Third pairing, we got Esa Lindell and Sami Vatanen. Um, is Sami Vatanen? Do we talk about this? Is Sami Vatanen signed anywhere?
Uh, I don't think he has been yet in the NHL. I think he might be waiting out his time. It's October 12th right now, 2021. As of right now, I don't think he signed, but he was on the last Olympic roster for Finland when NHL players were allowed to get silver, right?
Yeah.
Last time, and yeah, so that's why we put him on here. But yeah, if he's, I don't think he's playing. I don't think he's signed. So
Yeah,
maybe
but
not unless he proves himself at a in a different league.
yeah, I think even if he goes and plays overseas in Sweden or Finland or wherever, KHL, I think he's a good bet to at least be in the mix of defensemen for Team Finland. Even unless he retires outright, I think he should be considered because the lack of the experienced depth defenseman that this team is going to have is going to be really show. So like even a
Mm,
guy like Heiskanen, he's never played at this kind of level. So you
yeah.
need guys like Vatanen who are veteran Vatanen who are veteran presences. Um, I think
I
is
did look it up. He is playing in the top Swedish league for Geneva, uh, so he is still playing.
he's still playing. So yeah, I would definitely
He's been up
consider
and down.
him as a pretty decent lock for this defensive core. As our extras, we got Marcus Nudivara and Hakanpää, who was in Anaheim. I can't remember where he is now, but big, strong guy. Nudivara as well. Good extra guys to have for defenseman. Hakanpää will kill you. He's a big hitting defenseman, if I can remember correctly.
Mm.
And yeah, I think those are solid guys to have as your extras. You can put in anywhere in the lineup, either one of those guys to help fill out your defense core. But yeah, I think we'll go over forwards in a second. I think the defenseman in Finland is definitely the big question mark on how well they do. I have a lot to say about how far they go in the Olympics. Line one. I'll let you talk about line one.
Line one, we have Patrick Laine, Alexander Barkov, and Mikko Rantanen. I think this is an easy top first line for Finland. They're very skilled. And you have just a huge mix of different types of talent. Like Laine's a goal scorer, kind of skilled. Barkov, both ends of the ice, skilled. Mikko Rantanen, all the types of the plays he can make, the goals he can score from like anywhere. He's just such a mixed bag offensively that this line is it's just a huge dynamic threat. It's hard not to put them all together.
Yep, I think so too. I know Line A is the right shot, but we're put him on the left wing here at his off wing. And I think this is a scary, scary line. And I think Barkov and Rantanen will make up for the defensive
Hmm.
responsibility that Line A is going to leave out there. He's the trigger man. He's out there for.
It will that give him that kind of more opportunities to pull that trigger. Like if you don't bring a hot goalie for your roster, that's he could be the guy to light him up, and he can steal a game, just score a hat trick, and that's it. And your Olympic hopes are over.
Yep, absolutely. Second line, I think, is equally as scary. We got Tero Teravainen, Sebastian Aho, and Kasperi Kapanen. Fast. That's what that
Mm.
screams to me. This line is quick and skilled. A little bit scary. Teravainen and Aho obviously play together. Um, Kapanen is that. I think the guy who kind of rounds out this line pretty nicely. Um, yeah, we could see if Line A isn't playing us off wing, we could see Line A in this spot too, and maybe someone else who we'll get to on that left spot in the first line. Either way, I think the top two here is pretty set, or top six, sorry, is pretty set. Yeah. Have anything on this?
And I don't think we've really talked about it, but these teams are being thrown together. Just as here, let's just like go. Finding chemistry can be difficult, and for a team like Finland that is more on the fringe than in Canada or the U.S., having a pair like Teravainen and Aho that can play together. Yeah, Kapanen's a guy who's bounced or he jumped from Toronto to Pittsburgh. He fit in well. He'll fit in anywhere. He's a good guy to slide in on a pair that's already established. I think Teravainen and Aho are going to take a lot of responsibility in this Olympics. So we can be a really important line.
Absolutely. And third line, I really like this third line, what we've made here. We got
Mm.
Eli Tolvanen, Rupe Hintz, and Jonas Donskoy. Rupe Hintz is the most underrated center in the league, I think. I love Rupe Hintz's game. I think he could have been a point per game player last season if he didn't get hurt. He had this nagging injury all year, and he was like, play 2 games, out 1 game, play 1 game, out 2 games. Like, and he could never seem to be completely healthy. Going into this year, he's going to be, top line minutes at least for Dallas
Mm-hmm.
as a centerman. And I think him as your third line center behind Barkov and Aho, I think that's an incredible thing to have for your Team Finland.
And of course, on the wing, both are incredible scorers.
Yep.
It's another speed line too. Like Finland has speed going for him.
Yeah, you can definitely see when you put together rosters for countries, you can definitely see the similarities between all of the players, all of their top line players, their top talent, how they play specifically. Finland, it kind of is like more toward like the United States' game. Their speed and skill, and they'll just skate you into the ground. Versus a team like Russia, who's less quick but more skilled, and then Canada is skilled and will also punch you in the face. Like it's it's you definitely see a very a similarity between all of these kind of players, like the top end talent from all these countries and how they play.
And trend to positions too. In Canada we have so many centers, but
Yeah,
there's another country we haven't gotten to yet. No spoilers. That we had a
hard
problem
time.
finding centers, and it's just but an abundance of wingers, and it's like the type of each game each country, sorry, just has their own kind of game, their own style that will be shown at the Olympic level when you really put these rosters together. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, really cool to see. In our fourth line here, we're having trouble trying to figure out a fourth line, and there are two. I'll just reveal our two extras here at the same time
Hmm.
because any one of these guys could sneak in here. We got Granlund, Armia, and Kako, Kakanyemi, and Hala as our kind of figure out who to make a fourth line out of. I think any one of these guys could be on the fourth line. I don't know if there's a single one of them that is a lock. Depends on how Team Finland and how they want to build, how they want their lineup
Hmm.
to look. If you want depth scoring, maybe have a guy like Kako. If you want a guy like Kakiniemi could be up at higher in the lineup because he plays with Teravainen and Aho. You could go a full Carolina Hurricanes line. There's a lot of things that you could do and mix and match these players. Is anyone here that stands out to you?
Yeah, maybe Armia if Finland decides to go with like as a two-way center to go with the more defensive role, but otherwise it's just whoever has a good season. Capo Kako, he's great, but hasn't scored yet, but it has played really well. If he scores, he's on this roster. He could bump out Donskoy, he could bump out Kapanen, and like down the roster. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Going out, Troyes?
With some honorable mentions.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Uh, Joel Kiviranta, he was sent down to the AHL. It's a little bit surprising to me, but yeah, he's gonna be he was assigned to the AHL, and maybe for goaltenders, if Tuukka Rask doesn't show up, third goaltender, I feel like Finland might be a team that reaches into the SM Liga for players. Whether maybe not all of these guys on the roster even want to come play for Finland. I think that Finland's one of all the better teams in the Olympics are the most likely to dip into their own national team, and for that reason, I'm going to talk. Honorable mention is going to be goaltender Harry Sateri.
Harry Sateri. We love Harry
Harry
Sateri.
Sateri. Yeah.
Yep, could be absolutely a guy. A guy I want to point out that we don't have here. And personally, I think is going to have a really big season. Finally, kind of break through is Jesse Puljujärvi. Um, kind of that. There's like a spot that could be taken for right wingers for Finland. And if Puljujärvi has a really good year with McDavid playing on that line or Draisaitl finally starts to realize some potential, could seriously consider him to be a top six kind of forward. Other guys, we miss anybody? Eric Halla, we got Eric Halla. Oli Uelevi, maybe. I don't know. Yeah,
No, I think that's it. I think we did a pretty good job.
yeah. Let us know how well of a job you think we did. If we missed anybody, if we have our line combinations all wrong, let us know. And like the video and subscribe to the channel for more dope hockey content. Peace.